Hey, so this is gonna be probably the last video for a while now for the PulseTrend dashboard, and just gonna give a couple of updates on how and when this is gonna be available, and also go through the last features that we currently implemented. So we talked about the third bot last time, and now it's up and running, and it's called Nova. Now, how Nova works, the best way I can explain it is it's not great for choppy markets. So the best way to use Nova is when you're tired or when you're done staring at the charts, you go in and basically either you're going to sleep or you don't have the time, but you know something's gonna happen. So you know that the price you may be expecting, I know it's gonna go up, I just don't know quite when. But then you go to sleep, you wake up the next morning and you see the price goes up for like 43% and you're pissed off because you missed it again. And Nova solves that issue. So in a way you can, when you're just tired or you don't have the time, you just start Nova, you set up your leverage on the coin. Let's see, you're expecting for Bitcoin, because yesterday it went down quite a lot, and Nova picked up that short at $74,000, and right now it's 70,000. So like yesterday, let's say you're expecting for the price to go down, but you don't know quite when. It's gonna be in an hour, 2 hours, 4 hours. I know something's gonna happen, but I don't know when. So you just plug in Nova and say, okay, I'm gonna just put this 4x and I'm gonna leave it on. And if you did that, you would now be 20% in profit on Bitcoin. So that's the easiest way I can explain Nova. So because for choppy markets, for scalping, like let's say if you're scalping on the 1 minute, there's no such thing. There's no such thing as a profitable bot using the 1 minute, because the fees are just gonna kill you. The fees take so much for any 1 minute trading to work out. Well, maybe if you're trading Forex and you got like zero commission or zero fees, yeah, that's possible. But for crypto, at least with my knowledge, I don't think there's such a possible thing. And another thing, yeah, because Nova uses the 1 minute and up everything to the 4 hour. We also can do specific backtests because we're limited by the data of the 1 minute. And then you're probably asking, how can you use the 1 minute and the 4 hour together? I mean, what kind of sense does that make? How can the 1 minute even be somewhat used with the 4 hour? I wish I could explain that, but I can't without giving away the strategy, but it's very important. The 1 minute is very important as well as the 4 hour. And it's also explained over here. It relies heavily on momentum, so it's not recommended for sideways markets. When you're anticipating a significant directional move up and down, you pop this off, you come back in, 8 hours, and it's also recommended that you manually close that position. So when you see like, all right, I'm 20% in profit, I close it manually, and I come back maybe when the markets aren't as choppy anymore, or when you expect, okay, something's gonna happen right now. I can't stare at the charts right now, I'm just gonna open this up and leave it on. And even just that, I mean, when you think about it, isn't that amazing? And I can actually tell you it works. It works for that pretty great. It's not something you keep on for 1 week and expect to make a profit. I mean, maybe you could, but I don't recommend it. You just pop this off when you're not trading that day, leave it on for a couple of hours, come back, or you can leave it open, you can manually close it, doesn't matter, it's up to you, but that's the way it's meant, and it's been working beautifully for those kind of positions. So that is Nova, and it's currently no position on XRP. It closed the short on XRP, it also closed the short on ETH, and it opened another short, when it closed this short, because BNB at 2%. And also what I want to say is that Nova works on everything. So it's not just limited to the top 5 coins. If you look at the biggest gainers, and Nova also caught the biggest gainers. So Lin 40% up, Nova caught that 1 day ago. It entered here and right now it's here. Zen also caught that. Also caught that. ARC 90%, but it opened a fresh new long, which is kind of sketchy, but alright. And you think that I'm bullshitting you here, right? When you see these results, you think I'm bullshitting you, but no. These results are legit. You were maybe if you suspected a big move on Lin a day ago, you just pop it up, you just open Nova up, start trading, and you would see these results. And even if you check the biggest losers, did you catch those shorts? 42%. Oh, it opened a new short 19 hours ago. Okay, 32%. It caught that short. Caught that short. Probably closed that previous short, but now opened a new short 19 hours ago. 11% short 9 hours ago. So forth. So Nova is your best solution, probably the best thing we have when it comes to anticipating, or not when it comes to anticipating, but knowing when to enter and stay in that position. And it knows when to exit if that move is also not coming. And it knows to stay in that move if a big move is coming. So that's the best way I can explain it. And it works beautifully. And these yellow glows, we know what this means. These are take profit points. So ETH entered a short probably around here, and now it's giving a take profit point based off of that short. And overall, the market is looking strongly bearish. See, Bitcoin has been in a bear trend, all of these for 30 hours. So maybe we might see a little bit of exhaustion here, maybe have a slight trend switch. Who knows, we'll see. And so Nova is a man for choppy markets now, but SIA, I can explain that it's made for choppy markets. But the thing with SIA is you open up SIA when you don't know what's gonna happen. You could explain it that way. So because with SIA we see we're in a Bitcoin short. It's like 51 hours. It's been in this short for 51 hours, and it opened that short at 73,000. Now there can also be a lot of volatility during that moment, right? So Bitcoin can still go up to 75,000 or maybe 76,000 before this plays out. And it took a lot of time for this short to play out. But now it's plus 20 on Forex leverage. We would be in profit plus 20%. And worked out beautifully. 53 hours on Ripple, 51 hours on XRP, and 21 hours on BNB. So, I'm probably not going to say swing for swing trading, but when you're sure, when you know something's going to happen, use Nova. When you're not sure, you can use SIA. And you can also, of course, you have to use bots. I mean, I actually don't recommend using bots. You can just pop this up and see what position is currently opened. And you see that this short has been open for 51 hours. It's probably coming to a close, which is also not bad. So there's a lot of ways you can look at it. Sure, you can use a bot, but also the thing with bots, it takes a lot of RAM power. So I don't know what the recommendation is. Think about 8 gigabytes, but you got to be running bots, unless Nova, maybe for just 8 or 10 hours. But for SIA, you got to have that bot up and running 24/7, or maybe a day or two, and then just shutting it off. And a lot of volatility you gotta endure because you don't know if it's gonna hit your stop loss or not, but that's just the way bots are, or at least our bots are, because our bots actually work. Oops. And of course, like we said, you can play around with the settings. Take profits are never recommended. I don't recommend you taking point that when you click the auto, that you don't take coins that have the take profit option, only with the stop loss option. And always include a stop loss. If the auto optimizer doesn't give you the stop loss, always have some kind of stop loss set. I mean, the bot still closes positions on its own. It has a stop loss, but it's better if you just have some kind of stop loss set. But the take profit isn't that necessary. I don't know why Solana works so great with everything. I mean, 131%, and even Doge for that matter, 150. 6 stop loss, 4x, 28% drawdown on 25. Yeah. Oh, and okay, so, and with EVA, now EVA is a very different kind of bot. Now, we could just leave it at Nova and Sia, but EVA also had its moments, but the thing I'm not really a fan of when it comes to bot is the fixed take profit points. I really don't like fixed take profits points. I mean, stop loss is sure, you always gotta have a stop loss. But EVA is best explained, it's a liquidity sweep and a mean reversion engine, right? So it also has its very specific, not really a trailing take profit, trailing stop loss, but it's a very different kind of bot when it's CI and Nova. But I mean, because it still gives great results, we might just leave it in here, maybe do some changes, but it works great with some coins. I mean, we still get a 38% on Ethereum with just a 4 lot and an 84 win rate, 41 wins. But those take profits, like I explained, find the kind of coins that don't give you a take profit when you click the auto button. Or just click the auto button, take the take profit off, and play around with the settings. Alright, so on 2x, 80%, 14% drawdown, which is not bad. I mean, okay, so you just use EVA, set and forget, and just have it running on Ethereum. 80% is 60 days. How are you gonna get that with ETH if you're just gonna hold it for 60 days? If you have this up and running, start with $1,000. I'm not saying that the same results you're gonna get in the future, the same results that were in the past are gonna go into the future, but just figuratively speaking, you have this open for 5 months, you start with $1,000, and then in 60 days you get $107,000, and then the next month you get $360, in the next 2 months you get $3,600, and then the next 2 months you get $7,200, and in 1 year, hello. So all I'm going to say about EVA is find the coins, click the auto option, and remove the take profit, just have the stop loss, set and forget. And because I'm always finding some new things to implement, because right now I want to have something to put announcements in. Like, I want to write something and I want everybody to see those announcements. So we also put an announcement button here. When we were done with the bots, and then I find 10 other things I want to add. So we added an announcement button, so you can also see announcements when I write, either if I give an update on the market, or if I'm going long on something, short on something. So There's always something. I really want to make this is the best thing possible. I really don't want to just put something out there that isn't, when I can say, all right, this is it, this is perfect. Because quite frankly, I could say, all right, it's great now. I mean, you got 2 amazing bots, you got this beautiful dashboard that it's state of the art, it gives you all the rundowns you possibly can. But I'm sure I'm gonna find something else to add in the next couple of days. But even this is just great. I mean, it's awesome. So, and that's why probably, most likely, this won't be available for at least the next couple of months, maybe 4 months from now, when this is gonna go out into the public. Because we might have also found a solution for the bot. So let's say I got 1,000 people using this. Joy, oh joy, if I got 1,000 people using this, the bots are going to be opening the positions at the same time, right? So let's say everybody has SIA opened on Bitcoin with the same settings, and then it's going to place those market orders all at the same time from 1,000 people who have, I don't know, $100, $200, or maybe even $1,000, I don't know how much. And it's going to affect the order books. It can affect the order books, especially on some stupid-ass shitcoins. Or especially on Nova. I mean, because Nova works amazingly well with low-cap market coins. So there's going to be a slide. The only way that this can be implemented is adding a slide 2 or 4 second delay for each order. So that's the only solution I can think of, is when the bot picks up an order and let's say 1,000 people have it, it's not going to place those orders at the same time for all of those people, but there's going to be a delay somewhere around from 2 to 6 seconds, which I think it's a pretty okay solution to that. So this is going to be the last update for a while. I think we explained the bots, we explained the dashboard, and it's going to be available. Well, we can actually make it available for Linux, Mac, and Windows. The minimum amount of RAM is 8 gigabytes because it tends to use a lot of memory if you're running bots. So that's why I don't recommend having open 24/7 unless you're using a VPS. So we also gotta fix if something crashes because of memory loss, that the dashboard resets and it picks up. So that's also something to be on the lookout for. And the price, well, I would say, if you had to ask me now, I would say the price of this $1,000 a year, which I think it's a pretty standard or a good estimate of what this has. Because if you look at indicators, you're paying for shitty indicators, so you're paying for shitty groups, and you're spending a lot more than $1,000 a year for those Telegram trading groups or indicators. But here we're giving it to you slightly. I mean, I'm plain English. Use Nova when you're expecting a move. Use SIA when you're not expecting a move, and I can say that without a delay. I'm not saying, oh, you forgot to instead of Nova you should use SIA, but no, you're supposed to use EVA, but you were not looking at the dashboard because everything was bearish, so you don't use bots when they're bearish. No. Right now, if I would be using anything with all this choppiness, I would use SIA. Because with Nova I see there are still these shorts open and I don't expect anything significant to happen in a couple of days. So, but if I don't want to miss out something, or if I'm really impatient, I'm just gonna start off SIA right now. Right, that's it for now. The next update will be in a couple of months, and expect this to roll out also somewhere around this year. Thank you. Bye-bye.